The Do This podcast is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network. Join Bob Stewart and Chad Hyams as they welcome Don Krause. Don is a seasoned real estate professional with over 24 years of experience based in St. Louis, Missouri. Don shares insights on leveraging tools like Brivity to enhance agent productivity and scale businesses efficiently. This episode provides a roadmap for agents and teams eager to overcome challenges and achieve substantial growth. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Do This podcast presented by Brivity.
Hey, Chad, I was late.
Yes, you were.
It was my fault. Don Krause, how you doing?
Hello, Brivity Bob. I am doing fantastic. Hi, Chad. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Well, it's not. Hold on now.
It's morning still to Bob.
It's still morning out here on the West Coast. We're still waking up out here. Good to have. Hi, Kate in Orlando. Hey, Orlando. Mark, good to see you. Kelly Johnson, hello. All right, Don.
Yes.
Do me a favor. Before we jump in here, can you just introduce yourself, kind of let everybody know where you're from, what your business looks like, how long you've been around, all that fun stuff?
All right. So I've been in real estate for 24 years. I am a co-operator or a rainmaker of a team with my partner, Tom Bosler, in St. Louis, Missouri. So Tom really focuses on kind of the day-to-day production of the team. I focus on the growth and recruiting of the team, which is really just talking about the tools and the systems and the technology that our agents and partners use to scale their businesses.
Awesome. Okay. Wait, what does your guys' business look like there? You have a team, so it's like, are we?
How many
on the team? So we have right now 19 agents, and we have 4.5 admin, or four admin, two of which are virtual partners.
And you guys do some business down there?
We do.
Sell a few houses here and there?
Yes, sir. So some of our agents have only been with us for a couple of months, but this year we'll land right around 200 transactions, we'll land about 2.5 million in GCI.
Awesome. Okay. Over the last year, what have you guys been doing that has stood out as a growth driver for your business?
Okay. So in our first full year with Place, we will recruit about $1 million in GCI to the team. And last year we did about 2.2 million. So we're going to add about half of what we did all of last year for the entire team. And one of the ways that we have done that, one of the instrumental components to the addition or the recruiting, and this is not a recruiting conversation but part of the conversation that is attracting, producing agents and teams is the ability for them to be able to scale their businesses and to be able to do it more efficiently, more quickly, and more profitably. And I have yet to find someone who doesn't want that combination to happen in their business. So in the conversations that I'm having, always identifying what is your business doing well, where are the gaps or some of the challenges in their business, and it's guaranteed that pretty much every person you talk to has a desire to grow the number of families that they are serving each year. And of course they want to, but many of them are stuck. They're just not sure what to do to scale to that next level. So a big part of the conversation that we have is how does a partnership with us, with Place, Sonera Homes is our local name here in St. Louis. Because what Place solves for us in the challenges that we have to scale is what we then bring on a local level. And the number two thing that I always talk about is agent productivity. The only way you're going to partner with producing agents is to show them a path to increase their productivity, net more dollars, and then we have to give them a path to be able to develop them and build their business as big as they want to build it inside of our world, or else why would they partner in the first place? And why would they stay?
So we've been doing Chad kind of mentioned this before we got started. He's like, this is like the third one in a row. We've been like, kind of the focus is recruiting. And Don, I think we could go focus somewhere else with you because you guys run a lot of models and systems in the business. Yeah. But Chad, to date, I don't believe that here's what I'd like to do, Don. Would you be willing to treat me like an agent who's just bumping my head against 15 deals a year, every year? And let's just I want to hear a little bit of that conversation of first, how do you discover what my pain points are. I think that's important. If I was, trying to add $1 million in GCI to my business next year, I'd probably have to really have a good understanding of what those people's pain points are. So help me with maybe a little role play on that conversation, and then a little role play on the conversation around like how you like kind of show me that partnering with you can take me from 15 to 20 or 25 or 30 or 50 or whatever, whatever I'd end up wanting.
Absolutely. Great. Okay. So Bob, let's just say you're a producing agent and what do you want your production to be? Maybe 10, 15 units? What do you want your production?
He's doing 12. He's doing
I'm doing 12, and man, I keep going to all these webinars promising to double my business, but I just am stuck at 12. So man, 24 would be really awesome.
Okay. And how long have you been in the business, Bob?
I've been in 8 years. I just keep bumping up against 12. I'm burnt out. I feel like I work a million hours a day. Yeah. I just can't get past 12.
Okay, so help me understand first, Bob. So first of all, if you're doing 12 transactions roughly pretty consistently year over year, that means you are doing some things well. So what is it that you would say are the successes of your business, things that you're doing well?
I really like to talk to people when we're at parties. My wife's always trying to yank me away from them, right? Most of the business comes from people that I like run into. Maybe I'd call them my sphere, although, sometimes they're friends of friends.
Got it. Okay. So you're a networker. You're adding to your repertoire of people that you're getting into relationship with. What else do you do well? Anything else that you'd highlight?
That's about it, man. I'm pretty good when I get, like, if somebody invites me over to the house for a listing appointment, I nail most of those. I just don't get tons of at bats.
Okay, so you can do the close, you just need more at bats. Well, that's going to actually, Bob, lead right into my second question is, we're going to flip the coin. So you shared with me what you're doing well. Can you share with me a little bit about what you see as some of the gaps or opportunities in your business where you say, this has been on my radar and I just haven't had the manpower, I haven't had the bandwidth, my P&L hasn't supported it. What are some of those gaps in your business?
Yeah, I mean, I hear this Google local services, right? Like, I know there's leads out there. I feel like I just need to be talking to more people, and I don't necessarily know where they are. Like, put me at a party every night, Don, and I'm in, but I can't find a party every night.
Got it. Okay, so it sounds like you've got an opportunity for nurturing your existing database in a systematic way to generate more transactions. You want to continue to add to the database so that continues to grow and you have more people to touch. Are there any other areas that you've been challenged in your business or that you want to fill those gaps as you work on scaling?
Well, Chad knows my calendar's a little messy. I'm a little bit chaotic. I don't like to sit in one place for too long.
Organization.
I got nervous energy.
Got it. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I'm doing a shortened version of this, obviously, guys. So basically what I just heard right there is if I can show you a path to generating more transactions out of your existing database, that's your biggest pain point is you've been hitting the ceiling of 12 transactions year after year. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the conversation into talking about how do we solve the challenge of agent productivity for those with whom we're in conversations. And that is, so I'll find out what your database is. The majority of them are using a database that has to have a lot of bolt-on technology attached to it to make it run in whatever capacity they're utilizing, which, by the way, is usually a fraction of the full capacity of the CRM. So one of the things that I show them as I talk about the things that we solve for is that as any business scales, we're all going to need a suite of business services like finance and marketing and agent productivity, et cetera. The challenge is what a lot of us do right now is we bolt on all of these services and technology so that it is not, things don't talk to each other, which is not efficient and it's more costly. So Bob, if I can show you a path to show you how we can actually put everything in your business on one platform that will nurture the database for you in a way that it tells you exactly who to call every day, what exactly to say to them, do you anticipate that you could get more transactions out of that database that you've been building?
Yeah. I mean, I have like agent image I don't even know. I can't even remember the name of my database and I don't really go in there very much. I just like to be at parties and run into people and, talk to them about real estate. So, I mean, yeah, sure. If I was probably doing it in a more routine way, yeah, that might make sense.
Okay. So one of the things, so two curse words that I see oftentimes used with agents is lead generation. They go, "Ooh, I don't like to do that. Oh my gosh." Now they know they need to do it, but they don't love to do it. So here's one of the cool things, Bob, that we have with our organization is that we have actually gone away with those two curse words. And what we use instead is something called a day in the life of your Brivity database. And what that is using listing alerts that nurture listing alerts and market reports that nurture our buyers and sellers, coupled with our AI technology. It actually is going to read the consumer behavior and tell us every single day who we should be calling and what we should be saying to them, because we're going to see in the back end what they're looking at, how often they're looking at it, etc. So now your day in the life, aka formerly known as lead generation, can take you 22 minutes. It can take you an hour and 4 minutes. It's very purposeful, strategic, intentional activities done every single day that's going to make sure that you are hitting the low-lying fruit and then nurturing those in the correct ways to be able to have your pipeline have falling out the bottom of the funnel ongoing.
Dawn, I don't know that I'm like awesome at tech, right? Like I'm pretty good on my iPhone, I guess, but like, do you guys train me? Do you sit with me? Do you show me where to click?
It is so cool. In fact, I actually just got out of our team meeting right before this, and we were introducing, and I won't bore you with all this because if you're not used to it, Bob, you'd be like, whoa, fire hose. But there is a tool called Remine that so many agents have used across the country for a very long time, that has to do with data mining and allows your very strategic lead generation to be even more robust and purposeful. And that was just purchased by Place, and it has now been incorporated into our database that tells you exactly how to utilize it to generate more transactions. I had literally probably my least techie person in the entire room. There were, I think, 28 people in the room, raise his hand and say, "I cannot thank you enough for continuing to bring us all of these tools that I can continue to build my business. I don't know what I would do without you guys." So we also had Aaron McCormick on, who spoke to us about social media and all the things that Place is rolling out and is housed inside of Brivity to help us be able to launch our social media.
I need to get my hands on some of this stuff you're talking about. What? This stuff exists in our world?
Absolutely.
I don't pay attention close enough, Chad, clearly.
Clearly, Bob Stewart.
Dawn, can we,
Okay, hang on.
Thank you.
Before you go on and dive into a day in the life of, because it's a perfect segue, Bob, to be talking about that tool. For everybody listening, I just, as the impartial observer here, right? I just want to, what was the first thing Dawn did, if you noticed? Now, there would have been more to the appointment. She would have gotten to know Bob a little, of course. She would have created rapport with Bob. Yet she immediately went to, what do you do well, right? She built Bob up right away, everybody. And I want you to hear that. She asked him what he did well so that she knew what areas, one, to keep coming back to and saying, oh, you do this already, right? Re-support that. Yet at the same time, it put her in a position to not start spewing about how it's going to help him meet more people, because he does that okay, right? She was able to then focus. Then she shifted the conversation. She used the term flip the coin, which I love. I titled one of my ebooks that, flip the coin. She wanted to look at the other side of it and said, okay, now where are your challenges? And since she built Bob up, Bob was happy to then give away some of the vulnerability of where he isn't doing well. And once he made that clear, and Bob, we actually recorded a podcast on this yesterday, going from how to who, right? How important that is. She took his how challenge and turned it into the what you need to do piece of it, moving up the questioning ladder to a stronger question, and provided Bob the solution to what he was facing. That's a recruiting appointment in a nutshell. And Dawn, I know you were just running it through with Bob quickly. Fantastic job of running the perfect arc of what everybody should be doing for a recruiting appointment.
Is that intentional, Dawn? Like, do you start with what you're good at? Because that, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Always.
If you're like,
You
can tell she was following her script.
Yeah, I actually start with tell me how long you've been in real estate. What did you do beforehand? Because I want to see what sort of translatable skill sets and wins track record that they have had. Then I'm going to learn about their business. Tell me about 23, 24, 25 units, volume, GCI, however they track it, because I need to see how they're trending. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, whether it's 12 units a year, whether it's 30 units a year, whether it's 100 units a year, we're in conversation already because they want their business to look different in some way, shape, or form. And so I want to see, we need to celebrate the wins that they've already had to get them here. So I want to celebrate those wins with them. And like you said, Chad, start on that positive note. Then everybody, I don't care what season you are in your business, we all have challenges and things that we know need to be solved. The hue of those challenges just looks different depending on the season of your business. So it doesn't make it like, oh, you're bad because you don't have this fixed. It is, hey, what are your opportunities? And you notice I started with opportunities and then say gaps, because depending on how the lens that they look through those words, are you looking for? Now, what I would do after that, by the way, instead of going straight into some of the things, I would ask, okay, thank you so much for starting by looking in the rearview mirror. That helps me understand where you've been and where you are now, which then kind of can form the vision of where we want to go. So let's turn it from the rearview mirror to the windshield and talk about the future. Bob, where would you like to see yourself? Where would you like to see your business in 3 to 5 years? And Bob, I intentionally ask that as two different things, you and the business, because some people want to just be doing more and more transactions myself. Others say, I want the business to be doing more transactions while I, Bob, have the opportunity to now move more out of production to serve as a leader. And I really get jazzed by coaching. That's my bucket fill. So I want to understand the vision of where they want to go. Then what I'll ask is, what do you feel, knowing where you are now that you just shared and where you want to go? What's the gap? What's the challenge that keeps you from getting there? What holds you back? So I'm basically asking multiple directions where their pain points are so that I know how to best take the value proposition of our Brivity, our systems and models, and tailor that to the quickest solution for them.
And it doesn't matter what their challenge is going to be, audience. I'm bad at open houses. I know I need to do them. Okay, Brivity can solve that. Right. I'm not good at keeping in touch with people. Okay, Brivity can solve that. I don't know how to keep. Okay, Brivity can solve that. Right. If you are a Brivity user and you understand how the tool works, which is hopefully why you're on these calls and going into other training that Brivity provides, Brivity will solve the problems. That's what the team has built it to do. It'll always be the answer you can go back to.
So Chad, in my team meeting that we just finished, not only did we present the social media piece that's inside of Brivity, we also presented the open house, because what we know is we are a big SOI team, and a lot of them do open houses as one of their pillars of production. And so what we did is we spent about 15 to 20 minutes talking about, here's the system built out around open houses and how you utilize Brivity and the technology to maximize the pre-work, the during the open house, and in the afterwards. And by the time we were done with that, I asked the whole room of agents and I said, before we were on Brivity and before we had these systems, with everything that you just heard, how much of all of those things did you actually have alive in your business? I got anywhere from 0 to 15%, which would have been like, oh, I have the flyers, oh, I'll do this and this. And they all were like, every one of them was like, we realized that we were getting a fraction out of what we can with open houses because we didn't realize all these tools that were available to us. So, and it's all originates from our Brivity.
Let's go to the daily routine for a second, because this is, I don't know, in some ways around here, like my baby. I love it. It's probably because I'm not that smart, and
can it shoot 3-point shots though?
It's not quite strong enough, but it will be a little bit later this year.
You get a pair of your tennis shoes, Bob. That will sell it.
What's your feelings on the daily routine? Like, just give me the mindset of it.
I think you just said it right there. We have to start with mindset. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, we start with a daily liftoff. That daily liftoff is all about mindset, leadership, any of the challenges or tools that we're like, hey, here's a quick snippet that you can use. It's about getting them to launch their day in the right mental space that they can be productive and then roll straight into a day in the life of your Brivity database.
Do you guys work from your office? Do your agents come into the office where you guys are at, or you're remote?
Yeah, on Thursdays, we do scripts and role play, then group coaching, then the team meeting.
But the other 4 days of the week, you guys are what did you call it?
We did daily liftoff.
You guys are having your liftoff on Zoom.
And that's by Zoom.
Everybody's checking in.
Yep. And now there are a handful of our agents that do come in every day. Every Wednesday, Jason, who's one of our agents, has mass action day. So his goal, he'll call, depending on who he's calling, anywhere between 500 and 1,000 dials every Wednesday.
Does he get anybody to show up with him sometimes and do that with him, or?
Yep, he does, which is amazing. And then, of course, we have call night and inventory creation. And now that we have Remine and we have Land Voice and all of these other tools that are incorporated into Brivity, it allows their lead generation or day in the life to be just that much more productive when they do mass action days and they're calling market reports. Unbelievable how much more productive they are because they have all of this research and data at their fingertips when they're making the phone calls.
Okay. I mean, look, you have I think you said 19 agents, obviously not, well, I don't know, maybe you are the one unicorn out there, but not all of them are engaged and doing probably what they told you they wanted to do, when they signed up, right? How do you pull people in? How do you pull, like, you get somebody, I'm Bob. I'm like, yep, you're going to take me from 12 to 24. Awesome. All the things, you're like, day in the life. I'm going to start using software. This is going to be great. I'm excited because Dawn's really good at what you do. And so I joined the team and, 2 months later, we're like, where's Bob? This guy's not here. And I stayed the agent that I was when I showed up to you. What are you doing with that person? Like, and Dawn, if you're like, I don't know anything about that because I do such a good job interviewing, we don't get that person, I'll move to a different question, but it feels like probably not the case.
If someone says they don't ever have those that don't fully engage, they might not be fully transparent.
Yeah, they're not being honest with themselves.
It's about being real, so we can help people solve real time problems. So one of the things we have to understand is how important community is to them as well. And so that community it's why we have everybody on Zoom every morning. It's why we do the in-person on Thursdays, is because the more community that they engage in, which can be as simple as starting with the 15-minute liftoff, the more they will hear the success stories of utilizing and adopting the tools and what it has done for people. And the more they hear around that, it's kind of like a very positive peer pressure. The more they hear about it, they're like, well, I want that kind of success for my open houses. You turned Gabby on to your unqualifieds and you got 4 transactions now in your pipeline from people you hadn't talked to in 4 years. I have so many people in my database I haven't talked to in multiple years. I want to know more about Gabby. So it's the positive peer pressure by being in the community, and not everyone's going to show up at the office. So how can we sprinkle those success stories of utilizing the technology and the models and systems in a way where it's almost the community that's encouraging them to engage, rather than, so my business partner is Tom Bosler. So rather than mom and dad being like, oh, they're chasing me again, instead they're like, well, how did Steven get that? Well, when Todd, so that's been a really positive way that we've gotten higher engagement.
And I don't know if it's you. I don't think it's you or Tom, but you guys, well, it's probably the guy you were saying shows up every Wednesday to make 500 dials or whatever. Yeah. You guys have a champion. Like, you guys have people, and it's probably more than one at this point. You have people doing the things that you told me when I came in I could do, and they're getting wins from them, and I'm seeing those wins. And so either I'm going to decide I want to get wins like they're getting, or I'm going to check out. And
I get asked all the time, not only for the team, but as you know, I also have conversations about partnering with Place on a national level for rainmakers. And I get asked all the time, well, I've got someone in my area that is a part of Place and isn't doing blah, blah, blah. Or I know someone who joined this team and here's what I say is, it doesn't matter where you hang your shingle. Just because you hang your shingle there does not guarantee that you're going to be successful. tools and systems and technology are only as good as the adoption and utilization of them. So 100%, you're going to see a range of people's successes inside of the organization. And I guarantee you it's a direct correlation of their adoption. So I've got Jason who's doing 500 to 1,000 dials every Wednesday, not to mention he's religious about, I mean, when you say how many people are in your database that haven't been contacted in 14 days, he will tell you 0. And he literally means it because of how committed he is to the technology. And he has said, I thought I was systematized and good about my lead generation, but Brivity has shown me I have so much more. Now, this is someone highly engaged in CRM. Then I have my sweet Bobby, who is 67 years old, and who is one of the most amazing humans that you have ever met. And he has built a beautiful organic business because of who he is. He's the one who said, and he said, I am the least techie person on this team at 67 years old. It's not something I really want or anything. But Dawn, Tom, Place, thank you for bringing us everything you just went over on open houses. Thank you for bringing us everything you just went over on social media. Like the guy who is not techie is thanking us for the technology that's just going to make him better at what he's doing. We do away with the excuses. We want everyone that we're talking to talk to the agents on the team who are living it every day, because you'll find the success stories from those you would expect to find it. And you'll find the success stories where you're like, really? For you, that happened too?
Yeah. Well, you know what this makes me think of? And it's a stupid analogy because real estate's not easy, but it does make me think of the easy button. Like people want that, right? They want, and maybe the simple button is what we should call it. Like it's the simple button. Like there's a simple path to go build your business. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's called the Brivity Day in the Life.
Right?
If you follow the 10 steps that are the Brivity Day in the Life, right, it is simple. It's not easy, which is why 10, 20, 30% of the people, it's going to be, Dawn said it, it's adoption, that when I adopt it, my business will bring the results. Yet everyone, Bob, is looking for that easy button. And they're saying, oh, I'm just going to join the team and magically I'm going to double my business, even though I'm not going to do anything. And those are the people who get disconnected. Those are the people who fall off. It's following the day in a life plan. It was Brivity is a powerful tool. I've been there since like day one when Ben came up with the name and we're like, what the hell, right? But I think day in the life is the simple, most powerful thing you guys have built into Brivity because it does make it simple. It tells you what to do every day. And if you stop fighting it, the results show up.
Right on, Chad. And one of the things when I'm done with a conversation like this with someone I'm talking to about the team, the follow-up that I will send them is I'll send them, Chris Suarez, one of our co-founders, had done a segment on an all-partner call that was a 7-minute, here's how a day in the life of your Brivity database works. Then Bob, not too long ago, maybe a month or 2 months ago, you did a segment. It was 13 minutes and 44 seconds on Gabby AI and how it's evolved and how you utilize it in your business. And then we just did a 6-minute segment cut on Remine and how Remine is now live in Brivity and how that is being incorporated into our lead generation. So I'll send those couple of snippets to the recruit because they're like, oh, sure. Because they just think, oh, yeah, broad strokes, you can help me with my production. How? You show them those 3 things alone and they're like, oh my gosh, I have nothing like that in my world. Which is, again, why the one source of truth, your Brivity, is where you can truly launch your business in any area because everything is right there and it all talks to each other.
Dawn, checks in the mail. Thank you. I mean, you guys use the tools. You use them at a really high level. You use them to recruit
That's how
agents.
we're recruiting $1 million in GCI. Going, we were at 2.2 and we're going to recruit $1 million our first year because everything I just told you is not about recruiting. All I'm giving is a path or a vehicle to solve people's challenges to scale. That's what they want.
Love it. Love it. You're amazing. Dawn, get back. You probably have a recruiting appointment this afternoon. So thank you for stepping away from your business for a half hour to spend some time with us. You're the best. Chad, I won't see you next week. I'll see you in 2 weeks, Chad. Dawn, hopefully I'll see you in Scottsdale in a couple.
Yes, I will be there.
In 4 weeks, right? Okay, awesome.
Bye,
We'll see you soon.
Gang.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye, everybody.
Bye.